All right, so still talking about this champion of ours that we are talking about, Kwame Nkrumah, Showboy. So many establishments he put up before his demise. One of them is the pencil factory he put up in Kumasi, which is now defunct. There's nothing happening to it, and we are all wondering why. But our colleague Ibrahim Abubakar in Kumasi has done some work on this, and we want you to take a look. We'll be right back to continue the discussion.
Behind me is the pencil factory, one of the several factories established by Ghana's first. The existence of this factory meant the country produces and uses locally made pencils without having to rely on imported ones. Thousands of jobs were also created, but the narrative has changed now. The factory is now defunct, and we have to import pencils in the country.
Nkrumah made factories in Kumasi. He had a jute factory, he had shoe factory, he had pencil factory. Pencil factory is just around Ababu. Jute factory was at Ahinsane. Shoe factory also around Ahinsane. And then tobacco factory was at Ejura. And these are factories that produce what Ghanaians need. Tobacco for people who need tobacco, shoes for us, jute for companies who need sacks. We have pencil factory for schools. And this, apart from the fact that it's helping Ghanaians, it also creates jobs for us. And Nkrumah did all these things to ensure that it helps us grow our economy. Because if you have to import all these things, it means it's going to affect our economy. And look at all these things that I mentioned. Now they are all imported. Because if you have the pencil factory at that time, with all that structure it has, if it still exists up to date, one would have think that it would have enhanced, maybe had another branch somewhere which would engage more Ghanaians. We would have been fighting for jobs today. If all these factories, even in Ashanti alone, are working up to date, we would have been fighting for jobs to do this. What Nkrumah intended to do with all these factories was to make sure Ghana be of its own. So that appointed anytime I see any of the factories. And one will ask why. It is all because of the way Nkrumah was exited. After the overthrow, people intend to make Nkrumah look devil. So even the factories were not allowed to function so that people will remember Nkrumah. Let's allow it to spoil. Let's get it destroyed so that people will forget about Nkrumah. Because the more you enter into all these factories, the more you remember Nkrumah. We thought we were doing Nkrumah, now we are doing it ourselves. By the time we realize all these factories has collapsed, all you have to do is to sell them. We constitute a committee called DIC, Diversity Implementation Committee. We say we are selling it out to help these local enterprises to develop it. They also sell it into scrap. All these companies, they are no longer in existence. It is painful when you see some of these factories that in way 50s, when we have less than 10 million population, we were able to establish all these factories. Now that we have over 30 million population that we need more of these to improve ourselves, we don't have them. But it's up to us as a state, whether we've moved forward or we've gone back. Because if you look at economically the way we started, one would have said that we have shrunk downwards, because there's no way you can start with over 100 factories and end up you don't have even 20. Today we are proud of one district, one factory, which is a PPP thing. Compare it to a total ownership of a company. Which one is an improvement? The one we own or the one we are sharing? But this is Ghana we have today. We are okay with sharing companies rather than owning it. But to all of us, it doesn't belong to Nkrumah. Now Nkrumah is not, the Nkrumah is dead. Yet these factories are also dead. We can revive it. Some of them that are in existence, we can revive them. Not for Nkrumah, for Ghana.
Adwuma we adwuma bia na eboa mabunu a wo krum ha ene mantem ha nyina mpotem ha nyina akra ni nyamfaso free so papa senka company we edaso ye adwuma anka me didi se mbabunu a ene na mabonten so basa banchire no nko bia benya adwuma aye e ma akoma aye den atoyem aban we ba ye no nanka ye pensa ensisaye ye pensa chiraye e wo ya brabom sebi anka emefe sema ye adwuma na menua bi nso ba ye adwuma ye nyina ye koba anwumra anka beboa ye nyina nanso emwa yen nti mesra aban mesra Ghana aban kotodwegu fom ombo my Ghana ombo ni muso na de ekono anode.
Thousands of youth would have been actively working if this defunct pencil factory and other ones are operational. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
And you would ask yourself that, are we a country interested in prioritizing, and when we prioritize, what is even number one on our list? That's my question. So just 2 weeks ago, you saw what happened with the YEA.
Yeah.
Blood all over because the youngins, hot-blooded, yes, young ones in this country were looking for jobs to the point where some were actually getting hit, blood all over. And just like Ibrahim Abubakar said, this facility could have given employment to thousands of Ghanaian youth who now wake up in the morning and they do not have anything to do. And you see, when you travel out of Accra, it is so sad. They are along the little villages, they are along the roads, and all they are playing is Dame, Sesano Mokano. They are not doing anything. There's nothing to do. And these are well-able young men with body, Ankasa, and their youth is just wasting away. I saw that the last time we went to Cape Coast, and do not have anything to do. Why won't there be pressure on them to come to Accra to find greener pastures? And now the greener pastures that we used to have in Accra is withered away. We don't even have any green. There's nothing green in Accra anymore. Everything is just everything. we don't even have contombre. Now when you go to the market, you see how contombre used to be like really green and large. Now they've all turned yellow.
It's light green.
Yeah, it's all turned yellow. And my question would always be, what are we doing, or what have we done to even preserve food? That
right now, what we're doing is we're importing pencils.
It's from China.
It's a shame. You see, we keep making a lot of noise about education. I remember the Vision 2020. We talk about education. We talk about growth and poverty reduction strategy 1 and 2. And before we talk about education, we'll talk now about free SHS. Everybody seems to be talking about education. And we seem to be making a whole lot of noise about it. But the basics for education, okay, marker board, chalk, pencil, pen, basic things. How on earth are we importing pencils when we had a pencil factory that was functional back in the day? And I'll say this again, I'm saying most of the people who are at the helm of affairs now, at least since 1992, most of them who have gone past 60 into 70, 80, they enjoyed more than what they pretend they are giving to us.